Welcome back. I'm going to be doing a second two-tone hair coloring video now. I thought we'd tackle a couple of blondies and go from there. So I'm starting with Punk Kaylee. She's actually kind of the reason I decided to do these videos, because when I did the video a couple weeks ago now, I think, where I did her hair, I had some questions on how I did her hair. So here we go. I'm going to be using E50, 51, 53 with just a hint of Y11 for the blonde part of the hair. And I'm going to start with my E50. And I'm just going to start laying that down. Following, I know you're going to say, oh, here she goes again, following the grain of the hair. I'm always going to remind you of that. It's just going to help us really sell the three-dimensionality of these images. Okay. Oh, can't forget the little hair in the back here. I'm going to be head swapping her again, so that's why I didn't color the rest of her skin on her body. E51 is next. Just laying that down, not quite as far as the E50. Get it in here. Back behind her ear. Then back behind her neck. And the E53, which is actually our darkest this go round. And we're just hitting kind of the roots. Back behind the ear a bit. I have my light source on this one is coming in from the right, just because that's kind of where she's facing, so I decided to go that way. Now I'm going to work my way back down to 51. Because her hair is so short, it's really not going to take a whole lot of color. Just a few flicks, especially to keep it kind of nice and light blondie. Now our 50. Okay. And now I'm just going to take my Y11 and just real lightly go over all of that. It's going to yellow it up. I don't always do this. Most of the time I'm just using the E50, 51, 53 for kind of platinum blonde look. But for her, especially with adding the color into the hair, she seemed to me like a gal that would be, you know, add a little bit of nice bright yellow into her blonde as well. And it's just a fun change up. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the pink part of the hair. I'm going to be using RV25 and RV29, kind of more reddish pinks. They're going to be rather dark, but considering the clothes I'm going to be putting with her, they worked. I'm actually going to flip her around so I can work pulling towards me. And I did a lot of this streak because I almost wanted it to act like a whole streak, kind of framing her face. And you can choose as much or as little of the color that you want to use. I just wanted to go give her a nice little frame of pink all the way around her face. I'm just pulling that into that yellow. From the tips in. I'm also going to hit just the little tips up there. Now my RV29. Darken up those ends. Don't forget these ones down here. Okay, and then our 25 to kind of blend. Blend up here, blend up there. Okay, so now I'm going to use my Y11 to kind of go into that pink a bit. And I'm going to fussy cut her out so I can use that as a scratch. Otherwise you'll want a scratch piece of cardstock, just because as you're flicking into the pink, if you accidentally pick up any of the pink, you don't want to move your marker and then get a nice little smudge of pink back here. So every once in a while I just kind of squiggle some off on the scratch piece. Okay. And now I'm going to take my 53, and this is just with the tip of the marker, get those roots again, but then just give myself those streaks. Light flicks. And some E50 to also blend. That's it's going to be a more dramatic transition with something as bright of a pink as this is. If you did the lighter pinks, you could get a smoother blend. But this girl's making a statement, so you just kind of keep going over till you got it to where you like it. Okay, oh, you know what? I forgot to hit back here with just the E53, which would be in shadow down there, so there we go. Maybe take our 25, our RV29, and just give ourselves a few flicks in there as well. Okay, that is pretty much how I did Kaylee's hair on the last one. Now I'm going to do another blonde. This one is Monique from Kraftin Kimmie Stamps, and she's, oh, and all of these are on Copic X-Press It cardstock with Memento ink. And I thought we'd do her with that kind of the look of the blonde hair on top, but the dark hair underneath. So it's kind of the tips too, but it's going to be slightly different than the other ones we've done. So once again, I'm using the E50, 51, 53 for the top blonde part of her hair. No Y11 on this one. You'll see the difference that way. Okay. To my 51. Not quite as far as the 50. Feathering it on there. And our 53, E53. Hitting the shadows underneath her hat. Back here on the back side of her head. Back behind the bangs. Kind of wrap around there on that side because my light source is coming in from the right again because that's the way her eyes, the directionality of the character, so I decided to have a top right light source on her. So all my, decisions on shadows and stuff kind of come from that. And that's why, like on this darkest one, I didn't bring it around this puff out of the hair because the light would be closest to that area. So we're just hitting back on the back side of that where it goes out. Okay. Now, working back down, E51. This is where we're starting to blend the colors. To the E50. And I don't start all the way in the back, just kind of midway and pull down. Okay. So now for her black under part of her hair, I actually go with the W3, 5, and 7. The warm tone, I think it's going to look nice with her and what I'm planning to do, but you could certainly use any of the other grays, the C's, the neutrals, the N's, or the T's. This was just my decision. So I'm starting with my W3, and I'm going to fill in down below. Everything kind of down here. We want that whole underneath side. I don't know how to describe that hairstyle. I've seen people have it in real life where the whole kind of underside of the hair is black. And then it's kind of a platinum blonde on top. So that's what I'm trying to emulate on this little gal. Now the W5. Pulling that not quite as far as the 3, but really hitting this shadowed area back here behind her neck and behind the shoulders where it's going to be darkest. Back on this side of her head. Now my W7. And I'm still paying attention to the curve of the hair there. That's why I'm kind of avoiding adding my darkest colors to that, because I want that to look like it is, waving out, and so the light's going to be hitting it more here on the bump out part than where it kind of curves in on itself there. And then here as well. And then back here. Again, kind of leaving this lighter because the hair's bending towards the light there. Coming back around. Hit that side of it here. Okay. Now I'm going to start blending it all together by working my way back down with a W5. want to hit the tips of the bangs or not. I think I'm not going to, so it'll be just to my W3 there. Not starting all the way at the bottom. Just kind of up into the blonde. Blending into the blonde on this side as well. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my blonde. And we're going to add in our 53 for our streaks. And kind of reinforce those darkest areas. Just quickly and with, you know, the tip of your marker. And this side's darker because, you know, less light's hitting over here on this side. And then I'm actually going to kind of take my E50 and blend into that gray, grayish black part there a bit more. Hopefully give us a nice transition there. Okay, and I think I'm actually going to pull out my W9, my darkest one there, to really give us some shadows underneath here and really help define where our hair is curving and bending a bit. It just needed that pop of contrast. She's looking a little too blendy for me. And that's just that, you know, as you're coloring, you'll get an eye for it, and you'll see what it needs. If it needs to be toned down, or if it needs more contrast like this one. So you'll just, it's the more coloring you do, the more comfortable you get with what you're trying to achieve, what look you're trying to achieve. So now I'm just going to kind of blend that 9 in with the 7 and back down like I have, just quickly. I'm already liking that loads better. Just needed to be a bit darker than what I was giving it originally. Because even though I'm not 100% sure what I'm using her for yet, I suspect it might turn into some kind of Halloween card, just with the time of year it is, and I am on quite the Halloween kick right now. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that so much better. Okay, so now we've got a little two-toned blondie with the black kind of underside with Monique there, and I think that's going to wrap it up for the two-toned hair. I'll show you there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.